it's Erica with Crafteinated, and today I'm going to do a craft with me video. I have a baby shower to go to in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to make a baby book. I'm going off of a tutorial by Christy. I'll link her below. I forget the name of her channel, but she makes the most beautiful mini albums, and she has really good tutorials. I've made them before, but I went through last night and I watched the videos and I made myself some notes, and it's actually not that complicated once you've done it. I've done it, this will be the fourth one I've made, so I've made quite a few. I have all of the videos of those on my channel. I made one for my best friend Lauren for her 30th birthday. That one I filled with photos and it turned out really cute. I made one for my cousin Michelle's wedding, and then I made one as a raffle item at a fundraiser for my mom's heart transplant. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of show you what I'm going to do. And then when I really get into making it, I'll probably just speed it up and put it to music, because it's going to take me a long time to get through this. Might even be a two-part type thing, or maybe I'll just show the bare bones of it and I'll make a video of the final product when I'm done. I haven't decided yet, because these do take some time to complete. I am downstairs in the living room, so hopefully it's bright enough and it's not too echoey from my craft room. This room is much larger, but Dreambox is supposed to come, I think. The ETA is Monday. We'll see what happens. I'll take it whenever it comes. All right, so the first thing I did already was I cut out pieces for the binding, and I used my Cricut to do this. I used the 2 ml? I think it's 2 millimeter. Yeah, 2 millimeter. Nurse mLs, sorry. So it's the 2 millimeter chipboard. So you do have to have the maker, and you have to have the knife attachment if you want to cut it out with your Cricut. Now you can cut it out with like an X-Acto knife. You don't have to use chipboard that's this thick either. I like the thick chipboard, especially for like the cover of a book. And I don't know why this is so bubbled. Maybe I need to flip this. It's gonna bother me. So the measurements for this is 7 3/4 long by 6 1/4 wide, and you do 2 of those. And then for the the spine, you'll do 7 3/4 by 2. So then you'll take 2 pieces of paper, and I'm just gonna lay it out here. Yeah, so you'll attach this at about 1/2 inch, and then you'll wrap the book with that. So actually, before I get into doing anything like that, I'm going to go through the items that I'm probably going to need, like supply-wise, for this project. So like I said, I already used my Cricut, and for some reason, when you do the chipboard, because it has to take so many passes, you have to have a laptop. I typically use my iPad or iPhone when I'm using my Cricut. I like the way that the format is better than the desktop version, but I had to use the desktop for the chipboard. So some items I think I'll be using eventually. My corner rounder. For the initial portion, I will need my scoreboard. I will need a ruler, and I like the long one, a pencil, a ball tool. This is when you go to make a gusset for the binding. And I don't know why, every time I do one of these, I end up ripping the paper a little bit. I don't know what it is. You end up covering it up again anyhow, so it never is seen. But for some reason, I have a problem and I rip the paper every time. So hopefully today is the day where we do not rip the paper. an X-Acto knife, scissors. I use this for the glue, and I like to use the tape glue for mine. I will also have on standby my art glitter glue. It's a really good glue. It dries clear. I really love this stuff. So if I need it, I have it, but I typically just use these. And then I have lots of stuff to embellish. And, oh, I guess I need my cutter. And then, so with her, the dogs, with her tutorial, she uses the cards and envelopes from Michaels. She uses the Recollection ones. You will use the 7 1/4 by 5 1/4 envelopes and the 6 1/2 by 5 inch cards. That's just for this mini album. I mean, you could scale it down and do it with any size cards. I like the size that this ends up making. It's really good for 4 by 6 cards, and I learned that when I was putting together the one for my friend Lauren. And I should have done a flip through once I filled it, because it was a lot of fun, and it really just kind of, we've been friends since we were like 7 or 8 years old, and it just was so much fun to see, you know, like from when we were in Girl Scouts, and then elementary school, middle school, high school, college, her wedding, my wedding. So it was really cool. So I do recommend these. They make great gifts, but they're also very time consuming. So then we'll go ahead and start doing this. So what I did first is you will tape 8 by 11, 8.5 by 11 white paper at like a 1/2 inch overlap. So I do that first, and then you will kind of like eyeball where you're going to want your binding to sit so that it's evenly wrapped. And then you'll put lots and lots of glue down. I feel like I went overboard, but you want to make sure that your binding stays in place. So this is the front part of the book, and it's just tons of glue. And so I placed it down centered. And then about 1/4 inch in is where you're going to want to put the binding of the spine and the other part of the opening. So about 1/4 inch, and then a lot of glue again, and then we'll put that down 1/4 inch over from the spine. This was actually like 9 hours worth of footage, so I cut it down. I've been working on it, making it faster, slicing it, so that way it was watchable. So you'll go around and you'll score around the binding and kind of work it in. You cut at either end of the spine, and then some like crescent moons around where the corners meet, so that it'll wrap nicely. And if you have to, you know, take some extra off, that I did. I had to take some extra off where I was doing it. You're going to end up covering this up with another set of white paper and then pattern paper. So as long as it looks fairly good, it's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. You glue down the pieces of the white paper, and as you're gluing it down, you're going to gusset it in. So that way it opens and closes really nicely and doesn't rip. And you'll do that on the other side as well. So gusset, and glue. And then I'll glue down the other sides. Now with putting the white paper down on the inside, I just use a piece of paper and the pencil and mark where it's going to be. I make sure there's some overlay on the spine, so that way it's good coverage, and leave about a 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch on the outside of the white paper. So before you put this paper down, again, you will gusset. You don't want to not gusset first. If you don't gusset first and you put it down, when you go to gusset, you will rip the paper. So do that first, and then put your tape down. Again, I used a lot of tape. I don't go over where the gusset is with the tape. I leave that area, I mean, I tape close to it, but I don't go over the gusset itself. I'm just afraid of ripping the paper. So you line it up, you put it down, you'll gusset again just to make sure, and then I take the tape off on the inside. Make sure it folds nicely, and do the same with the other side. So yeah, these take a long time to make. I do think they make beautiful presents. I think that they are a lot of fun to make. If I had more time, I would make a ton more. Like if I crafted this fast, I'd be making these all the time. I wish I was this fast. It's an illusion. So you just line it up, gusset it down, take off the tape, and there's the inside. So now what I do is I put down the envelopes to make an inner flap. So you'll glue on the outside of the envelope along where the flap is. You'll take the glue off. You'll line it up nice and put it down, and there you got a flap on the front, and you're going to do the same with the back. So you have an extra flap on the inside, and then you'll put I put some more things on the inside of that. So with this, you cut the paper. I put the measurements at the top because it gets really confusing with all of the different measurements. But that's where you cut them at the measurements at the top. You score them at the score lines at the top, and then you fold only the outer edges. And the reason you do that is because they kind of nestle inside of each other. And then, so you fold the outer edges, they'll nestle in, you'll see where like the glue should go, and then you'll cut the corners off so that when you go to put your pages in, it nestles in very nicely, looks really finished. And that's how you do that one. So I did, I think I did 3 pieces on this one. I do use a lot of tape on the inside of these too. Another thing you do not want having falling off are your pages. So, and then you'll use 6 envelopes. You'll close them all, and then you'll take your paper cutter and you'll just at the edge cut a tiny sliver off. This is so that when you go at the end, you will leave the outer end that's open to the outside, so that way when you go to make the end, you'll put a card in there with like a little tag, and you'll see what I mean when we get closer to the end. I will also just post the finished product if somebody doesn't want to watch all of this footage. So when you put the pages down, you go at like an 1/8 inch in, so that way they open and close with no issues. So you don't want to go all the way to the edge. If you go all the way to the edge, you're gonna run into issues with the pages opening and closing of the score line, I should say. And then I like to make mine so that they're all going the same way. I put the inside of the envelope to the out, and obviously you're going to have your opening to the front where you can slide that other thing in. So to make the first page, you do the same thing you did with the first page of the book, and that's where you put the glue down on the flap, and you'll do that to the same as the back page. So you just glue down the flap and you just line it up and you put it down, and then you've got a flap on the front and the back. And this is for page 2. You're going to cut an envelope that's closed at 2.5. So the rest of that envelope is going to go down first. And it's like kind of like a cascading type pocket. So there's your big piece of the one envelope, and then you'll put your 2.5 piece down. And then it like kind of cascades down, and you'll do the same on the second page. So it's 2 envelopes that are closed for those 2 pages. For page 3, you'll wait to do that one until after you cover it. So there's that one. And when you're putting your tape down, leave like an 1/8 of an inch so that the envelope can expand to put like photos or whatever in there. So for page 3, you're going to notch it 2.5, and then you turn it around, notch it 2.5, and then cut it diagonally. And now you have your 2 pages. It's one closed envelope for both pages at 2.5 on either side. And that one's one of my favorite pages. I don't know why. I just love the way it ends up looking. And you'll see what I mean. I used some striped paper, and it just looked really, really cute. You'll skip page 5 until the end, and then with this one you do 2.5, flip it around, 2.5, and the rest of it's scrap because there's not much left over. And you'll tape the open side to the out of the book so that you can slide a card in there as well. And then that's pretty much the beginning of that. So now I'm going to wrap the book. I use this it's Cricut paper. It's very cute. It's got light blue polka dots, dark blue polka dots, and stars on it. And it's like kind of like a cream color. I think it turned out really cute with like kind of like the theme that I was doing with the outside of the envelope or the book, and it looks really, really nice. So you'll put that down. I probably used a lot of tape for this too. I use a lot of tape when I put stuff down. I get afraid that things are going to fall apart, so I'd rather put extra tape down than not enough. You don't want the cover of your book falling off. That would be bad. And so that's going to be the front. And like I said, I just trim as needed. I use the pencil. I go through, I erase all my marks at the end. I feel like that's the easiest way to do a project like this. There really isn't any set measurements. I'm sure you could go through, make one, and write down what measurements you do, but I think it's easier this way. You leave like 1/8 of an inch of a border around everything. So then we'll cover the inside of the book. I used like this gray polka dot paper. I thought it was really cute for a baby album. And you'll do 2 pieces like that. And before you glue it down though, you're going to gusset. So there I'm gusseting the one side, make sure it folds, gusseting the other side. And then I'll make sure, I guess I didn't make sure that folds, but I went with blind faith on that one. It'll fold. And then a lot of glue again. Not as much as the cover, but enough. And then you just kind of like line up the gusset, line up the side, make sure it looks good, put it down, gusset again, and then put the, there, just like that. And then the same with the other side. So once that's down, I'm going to make the inside of the book portion. So there's like the outside where, like not the outside, but like the inner pages that I will show you. But I'm going to do the inside of the book first. So I'm going to wrap the front flap and the back flap with this really cute cloud paper. It has little sayings inside of it. It just turned out very sweet. So you'll put that down. And I don't use as much tape when I'm putting the pages into the book. It's just around the edges and one down the middle. I don't go crazy on the inside. And then I had to replace that one because it wasn't what I liked. But there, it's fine. And then that one will be the same way. And then I use these like mini magnets for this as well. And I'll show you that in just a second. So there's the magnets. You'll put it down with double-sided tape. And then, that's just me finding the placements of it. And then, oh, I guess I didn't go there next. But in a minute, I'll show you how I drop the magnet with another piece of double-sided tape. So that way when you close the flap, it's right where you need it. Now these are envelopes that you cut at like 1/2 inch, and then an envelope that's closed that you'll cut at 2.5, just like you did on the inside. So you put some tape down. It's a little crooked, but it doesn't matter. You just line it up, put it down, because it's going to get covered with the flap of that envelope to make a little inside pocket. So we'll take the tape off of that. And then I'm just picking out my paper here. That's like the hardest part for me is like, it's just like there's so many choices and there's so many things you could do. It's hard to figure out what paper you want to use, but I do really like the selections I've made for this book. And then that's like a gray, like kind of like a polka dot. That's from, I believe that's Cricut paper as well. And that is Cricut paper. That one's really cute too. And I love the rainbow music notes. It's just so, it's so cute. I love it so much. So this is where you will, you put the sticky side up and then you drop the magnet on, close it, and now the magnet's on either side for a good magnet close. And you'll do that a few times in this book. So then you put down those little sheep and they magnet right down. This is the blue stars, and then you take that off. And now you have a magnet closing piece of paper or flap. And so we cover this, I cover this side. And then on the back of the book, it's the same exact thing. So you'll do the magnets, and I just wrapped it the same color scheme as the front. You can do whatever you want though. If you want it to be different, it could be different. So that's the envelope that's at, cut it a 1/2 inch on the lip. Glue it down after lining up. There's your magnet. The 2.5 piece of envelope that's closed with the opening facing outward. And then wrap it with paper. The narwhals are cute too. If it was for a baby boy, otherwise I probably would have used them because they're adorable. Now this is why it's important to check your paper before you take the tape off and get ready to put it down, because it's overhanging, and then I had to cut it and I had to remove it from the cutter, so it became a process. So just double check everything you're doing as you're going through. Sometimes I do, and then in that case I did not, and it ended up being more work for myself. All right, so that's the inside of the book. It's all done. So with this, I think I cut all of the paper first for everything. And so that's the front and the back. I did the same. And then I'm going to do the same on the inner flap for the front and the back as well. And I use this like greenish, yellow, gray striped paper. I thought it was cute. And then for this one, you want to make it so that the middle and top flap are longer than the pocket itself. So it just goes down into it about a 1/2 inch. So, and you'll see when I put the paper in the pocket that it's longer. So it goes in. So that way it looks really covered and really nice. This one I use this really cute blue polka dot paper. I love it. The monkeys are on the other side. You can kind of see them poking out there. I love using the monkeys. I use them later on in the project. So with this one, you'll just kind of put in, mark where you want it, so it's down inside the pocket, and then you mark corner to corner, cut corner to corner, and then it matches really nicely. And you do the same with the other side. Corner to corner. Beautiful. And then this one, I picked out this paper. I did not end up using this paper. I was kind of on the edge of what I wanted to do with that. I did end up using the paper just differently. So this is another one where you're going to put it inside, and then you'll make the covering of the pocket itself. So there's that one, and then I start covering it, and then you'll see I use the magnets again with the inside flap of this. So we'll put that down first, those really cute clouds with stars, and then we'll drop the magnet, and then you wrap it with the yellow and like grayish type striped paper. And I like using like striped paper. I like using pattern paper that lines up. I think it looks really cute when it's, even if there's like a gap between the pages, how it just or like the pockets, but how it just kind of looks really flush and really like professionally done. So see how that is. Same with these pockets. I love these pockets. How the, like, the rainbow stripes, they all kind of match up, and it just looks really, really cute. So like this one, you'll put into the pocket first. It is a little tricky. The first time I did it, I had a hard time. But you want to put it into the pocket and then press down once you get it like lined up. And same with the top pocket and the other side. And see, I had to replace that one. So yeah, these they take time to make. I think that the total time on this was like 3 days worth of work. Not 3 full days, obviously, but it was about, I think I had 9 hours of footage, and some things I did do off camera. So they take time, but I just love the way they turn out. They look so cute. And you can do any style you want with this. It doesn't have to be like cutesy kid. It can be, you know, anything. You can do it, like the wedding one I did was obviously more elegant looking. And then you'll just tape these down and get ready to come back to do that page. This page is, I think, one of the more complicated pages to do. Just like all the steps that are involved with it once you get there. But I love the way it looks at the end. And I will have another, at the end of this video, I do a flip through, and I will do a singular video of just a flip through in case somebody doesn't want to watch all of this footage and listen to me talk about everything I'm doing, because some people just want to like get to the chase, like, you know, and see the end. So I do love the way the diagonal pages turn out. It's one of my favorite pages. And like I said, I like using stripes. It makes it look so nice once it's all lined up and looks perfect. And so when I get to the next page, that's when I'm like, I don't know if I want to use this paper. I'm looking at it and I'm like, meh. I went with the yellow instead. And I think it was a good choice to use this instead of what I had picked out because of what that page ended up being. So when I do the 3-page and the 5-page, the ones that you cover, like you make it last after you cover it, I do like using like a little bit more simpler paper on that because, and you'll see why, with what you put on there is going to be your main attraction. So if you use something that's like really loud or really patterned, I feel like it just kind of takes away from it. So that's why I did the blue polka dots and then the yellow kind of like striped. So these are like these, like, I think they look like sprinkles. It's like this like teal sprinkles. And you just put it inside, put it down, and the same thing, you do the flap. And then you'll put it inside and put it down. This one I didn't worry about like lining up so much because it is just like sprinkles. They're just everywhere, so it's fine. All right, and then the last page is the same as the first. So you'll put down I had the clouds and the stars. I'll put that on the outside. And then that same stripe paper after dropping the magnets. And then that's going to be the base of the inside of your book. And then after this, I go back to page 3 where that polka dot paper was. So this is really confusing. So I'm gonna tell you what I did here. So you do the 5 by 6.5 card, and you cut it at 5.5, and then you'll score on the 1/2 inch on either side, but then you cut the 1/2 inch on one side and fold over. So see how it's folded so that it makes a pocket in the back. Then you'll cut a piece of scrap white paper at 1 inch by 4.5 and score at the 1/2 inch line. You cut the corners off of the back of the envelope or card rather, and then the back of that scrap. And then you'll put that scrap down, you'll glue it, and then it's going to make a pocket. So we do it again, cut it at 5.5, score at a 1/2 on either side, cut up to 1/2, way up at a 1/2 inch on either side, and then fold over on the score. And then you need another piece of the 1 by 4.5 inch scrap that you're going to score at 5, and do the same thing where you cut the corners off and then glue down the scrap to the bottom. And then the way that this is going to be attached is just by like the scored flaps, so it makes a pocket. So it gives you yet another pocket inside of your mini album, and just like that. And you'll do that for both sides. And then before you wrap this, you are going to drop a magnet on the inside of it. And I love the paper that I use. It's the other side of this blue polka dot paper. It's really cute. It's these monkeys, and they're just so much fun. And so I did that on the outside as well as the inside. And I thought they looked really, really cute. And then I was careful with the inside so that they would line up. And so your monkeys, like, even though they were cut in half, they would like line up with each other. Just because I like the way it looks like that. So then you just glue it down. And then you have a flap and a pocket on either side of this piece on this page that magnets closed. And I think that using like the double-sided paper that coordinates, it just looks so cute and works really, really well on this page. I just love it. I love the monkeys. They're so cute. I hope I have more of that paper somewhere so I can make something else with them because I love them. I did cover them up a bit in the end with some journaling cards on the outside. Because you do want to have like a little bit of like, you know, embellishments and journaling cards, because you are giving this as like a future scrapbook to somebody. So they're going to want to, you know, put their like personalized like moments and memories and write them down on like the journaling cards. So I think that's important. So for this one, you have the 5 by 6.5 card, and you will cut a 1/2 inch on one side and score a 1/2 inch on the other, and you'll see what I mean. So we're going to cut off 1/2 inch and see how it's, then you score it over, so it, and cut the corners off, so it's going to like open to one side and then to the other, and you do the same on this one. And then I have them both opening to the inside of the mini album, so you'll see. So you put your tape down, glue it down, and then it flaps over either way, and same with this one. And you could have it go whichever way you want. That I just like to have them open to the inside, and then you'll drop your magnets on the inside of this page and on like the inside of the card. And see how cute this pattern paper looks with that yellow paper. This is why I think it's important to kind of do something a little bit more plain for the back part, because you're gonna end up covering that up anyhow with other pattern paper. So that's why I went away from the bubbles and did the yellow. Now this one I did the same for each of the inside flap, because I really did like those stars and I wanted to utilize them somewhere, and I think they're really cute. And then I'm just getting all my paper ready. I think I did have to go back and cut 2 more pieces because and this happened to me last time. I didn't account for the inside flap for some reason, which I do that sometimes. I mean, you get so into it that you forget all of the steps that you're supposed to be doing. But so I'm gluing here. And I believe I had to pick another piece of paper. Yes, this is me realizing that I need another piece of paper, but this paper is so cute. I love the giraffes. I love the elephants. I think it looks really good against the yellow, and putting it on the inside. This one's from Simple Stories, I believe. It's like a kit I had for baby stuff, and it's just so cute inside of there. Beautiful. Love it. I did have to trim it down a bit. And then I put the bubbles on the inside of the other page. My favorite part is embellishing at the end. I do like picking out the paper, but I love going through, picking out the stickers and the tags and whatever else you're going to do. That's the most fun for me. Yeah, I had to trim that down a bit. And then we place all of this down over top of the magnets. And that blue looks really good against the yellow too. And I wanted the stars to line up too. So if you're trying to make it line up, cut from the other side. Like if you need to cut it down, don't cut from the inner side that matches the other side. Cut from the outer edge. That's what I just did, so that my stars would still line up. And the same with this side. You can tell when I struggle to put it down because it like takes me forever. Oh, it's so funny. All right, so this is my favorite paper in this entire book. I love it. Well, that and the monkeys. I know I have too many favorites. But look at those elephants. They love each other. So cute. So that's your book. That's like the main part of it. So I just use a pencil. I mark on either end like where it's gonna go. I put lots of tape down, tons of tape. You could use the red line tape for this. I don't have any, or I do, but I don't know where it is because I'm in the middle of moving my craft room. But you need to use like really strong tape. I do think I maybe even reinforce this at some point with the art glitter glue. Because that's the only, you do not want that falling out. That would be bad. So now you take 6 cards. And I just went through. They're not really scored very well, so I went through and I just like did a good score on them. And then you will cut them. Let me see what the measurement is for that. You cut them at 4.5 by 6.5, and you put them in your pages. So 4.5 by, and it's already 6.5. And see, I think I put more glue down there. And now I'm making an outer pocket. I just kind of eyeballed this one. I wanted this, it's a Project Life card, and I wanted it to be on the outside of the pocket because I thought it was so cute. It says, "This is your story," and I thought that was perfect for the beginning of a scrapbook because it kind of is like this, it's going to be the story of, you know, the beginning of this person's life. So I put that down. I thought it looked really, really cute. That was like one of my favorite tags that I put in there. So there's that one. And then I cut down a card. I just eyeballed this one too. I just wanted it to be a cute size. And then I put a regular card in there, just regular size. And then I did the same thing on the back, because I just used the same size envelope that I used in the front where I cut it. And then I used that tag that says Sweet Memories and cut it about the same as I did as the first Project Life card. And I think that one looks cute too because it's on top of like the clouds and it says sweet memories. Very cute. And then I'll put a card in that one too that's about the same size as the one in the front. And then we'll put a regular card on the inside of the pocket. And now you get 6 more cards, and you're going to cut, you're not going to cut the cards themselves, but you cut the tags for the pool. And those are 1.5 by 6.5. Oh, well first that's going to be for the front of the book. I used my Cuddle Bug to cut that. And then I'm going to use the Cuddle Bug to cut this like metallic-y background for it. And that's how I'm going to do the front. So then I cut these, it's at 1.5 by 6.5, and those are for the tags. And then you punch it. I use this lacy kind of punch, and you'll do that for all 6. And then I just kind of like lined them up, make sure they all look good. Went through, punched all 6 of them. And then when I put them on the cards themselves, there was a bit of overhang. So I had to use my X-Acto knife just to take off. It was like probably maybe like 1/8 of an inch overhang. So if you're more careful, you may not have to do something like that. I did. So go through and you make sure they all line up and are good scored. And then I glued them down with the tape. And I just marked them, I put them all down at 1/2 inch in. You can do whatever works for you, but I just want them to all like be flush. So to me it was important to put them down at the same like side. So like I did 1/2 inch for all of them. So really, this is like the end of the actual like how to make the book tutorial. The rest of it is all up to you. The rest of it is, you know, however you want to decorate it or whatever embellishments you want to use. Like I said, I followed Christy's tutorial. Hers is a couple, I think it's 2 parts. It's like one is like make the book, one is cover the pages, and she goes through it all really like in detail. I did not go through it as in much detail as she did. So if you need more detail, if you want more information, I will definitely have her linked below. And you can watch her video. She's amazing. I love just watching her books. So each of those folds into there, and it gives you some more places to put that. So I put some stars on there. I thought about putting that banner on. I decided against it. Put it back away. And I kind of like, oh yeah, and then I put those corners on. Those were from like I think it was a Heidi Schwab pack of like some baby things. I used a couple things from that pack. Like that, this card is from there too. It says, "Your first breath took ours away." It's really sweet. And I thought it was perfect there. That just has like name, date, or date of birth, height, and inches. So this one, I just cut a card at about where I thought would be good. And then I used the punch to kind of tie the punch into that page. And I did on either side. So they're like a little tag to pull out it and put more photos or journaling. Here's where I put some journaling cards down on top of the monkeys. But the inside monkeys are safe, I promise. I didn't put anything on them. So there's that one. And these were I think this was the Project Life cards. They're just really, really cute. I love Project Life stuff. And then some stickers. I'm not really sure where those stickers are from. That one says Snugglebug. And that one says Our Sunshine. The bear, perfect. I skip around a bit. Some more journaling cards. I put some giraffes down there. And then I put some tags on the outside of the envelopes. I think I come back to that. There's the Heidi Schwab things. So then I use those on the back as well of the book as the front. I just cut off the excess because it's like something that you would like put around a picture, and since I wasn't doing that, I cut off the excess. So here's some tags. I put that one inside. What's that say? How wonderful life is now that you're in the world. And that one says, I like you always and love you forever. That sticker that's on the bottom there. And I go through it in more detail when I go through the book at the end. And I put a tag down on there. I put some tags down on these ones. So I put the giraffes down. They're really, really cute. First we had each other, then we had you, now we have everything. Very sweet for a first baby. And then I think this is like all the reasons I love you or something like that, and it lists 1 through 5. Or so many reasons, I can't remember what it says, something like that. So many reasons why I love you. And then I put some tags in there. That one says dream big, little one, and it has the same little teddy that's on the front of the pocket inside of the air balloon or whatever. And I forget what this one says off the top of my head. You are my sun, my moon, and all of my stars. And then another journaling card. I'm just kind of looking through, seeing what I can do. So I put this, so that like loop-de-loop that's on the book now, I cut that with my Cricut because I like the way it looks. And then this is for the binding. I used the same rub-on that I used for the baby boy, and it says hooray. And I thought that that would look really cute on the binding. So you'll see how that looks once I put it on there. But I used like a metallic-y vinyl because I thought it would tie in with the front thing. And then I'm making a like ribbon that goes, it's gonna go underneath where it says baby boy, and this literally took me forever to figure out how to do. I cut through it because it was just too long, but this is just kind of the process. I laid it out thinking about how long I want it to be, how, you know, much in between each one. So I did a little bit of sewing. I'm not really a sewer, but I did some some light sewing, and then I went through and I did like the bunny ears cutting, and then I pretty much just jumped forward to where I'm about to put it on because it was just so much work. So those are, that's that metallic-y paper again from Cricut. So what I'm doing is I'm making the front closure and a picture frame with bunny ears. And I'm gonna do 2 of the front closures, 2 of the picture frames with bunny ears. So I'm doing another picture frame with my die. But I only did 1 of the bunny ear things because I cut it in half. And then you will cut some paper that matches inside of that. I did 2. And I think I used an extra card that I messed up on. I used the art glitter glue to make a good pocket. And then I put the bunny ears after erasing my pencil marks. And then it will just slide in and it'll look really cute. So then you can pull it out and put a small photo there. Making sure things are down. And I'm making another one of the frames with the bunny pull tab. there's me sewing some more. Sorry. So this is another day. I came back to it. I used some hot glue to place, well, I will use the hot glue to place the ribbons down. And then this is going to go on the back one, and it has the bunny tag that goes down in there. There was like some excess from the die that didn't cut, so I was just getting that off of there. The ribbon, so I cut it, I glue it, and I fold it over so it looks like it's on its, like, so it's folded over on itself, but it looks like it's through it. That's been the best way that I've found to do it. And then I cut off a couple more of those, give it a little bit of haircut. Put it down in the middle. Put my baby boy down. Actually, I put some foam strips on that. Yeah, that's right. So I used some foam tape on the baby boy. I wanted it to pop up just a bit. And push it down. And then I used some extra hot glue gun underneath where there might be, like, where I felt like it needed reinforced. And then that was good. So then I put the ribbon down. I flip it over and kind of line it up. Eyeball it. Do the bunny ears. And that's it. So I'm going to go into the flip through, which is a separate video that I'm just going to add into the end. I will also make it its own video. So enjoy that. Thank you. So this is a baby boy mini album. I followed the tutorial from Christy, and I'll link her below. She makes beautiful mini albums. So this one is a baby boy mini album, and I put this on the outside where it says hooray, and then this is the back. So we'll just flip through it real quick. So you untie the bow. My dog is going crazy over there. And then this is the first section. So this opens up, there's a journaling card here, blank space for some pictures. And then this was from the Project Life kit. Hey, be nice to each other. Come here, Luigi. Luigi wants to come here. Come on. Get up here. Come on. Get up here, silly. Come on. Get up here. There he is. All right, so Luigi's gonna watch us go through this. And sit down, baby. And so this opens up to this side. And again, and then there's a pocket here with another card for more photos. And then this is a die cut, and I put a little bunny ears on here, and it pulls right out to put like a small photo. All right, Luigi doesn't want to stay up here anymore. Go on. And then this opens up, and then on the inside of each one of these pages is another card with a tab for more pictures. And these are good for, especially for the 4x6 photos, as they are the perfect mat size for that. And then this one has just a tiny tag here, and then these are cards. This one says, your first breath took ours away, and this is the name, date of birth, weight in inches. This one, these fold up, and each one has a journaling card, and then in the pockets there's some journaling cards, and they're double-sided. I thought those were really cute to go in there. Then on this page, it's another card, 2 more cards. This one says, first we had each other, then we had you, now we have everything. That was really sweet. And this one says, so many reasons why I love you, and then it lists through 5. This one, they open up this way, as well as this way. And this one says, I'll like you always and love you forever. And this one says, how wonderful life is now that you're in the world. And this is the other side for this one. I love this paper. It's so cute. And then this one says perfect with the 2 giraffes. And this one says, you are my sun, my moon, and all of my stars. And this one says, dream big, little one. Did I make that up? Another pull tab with the bunny ears, and that just pulls out. And then there's another one like this. This is another card with the journaling tag on there that says little one, sweet memories. And then this looks the same as the front with the card on the inside. So this took me a couple of days to complete, but I'm really pleased with the final outcome. I think it looks really cute, and I'll be giving it to a coworker for her baby shower, and I really hope she likes it. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And again, Christy's has a really good tutorial. I'll do some explaining in my other video, but I would recommend watching hers. This is the 4th book I've made following her tutorial, and she is she's really easy to learn from. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.